Hey, just wanted to give you an update on Codepathfinder. I haven't really given an update in a while, and kind of what I'm doing with it. I'm starting to use it more and more. Just basically looking at other repos, code repos, being able to have like a standard set of skills and memories. I have probably like 5 different apps that I'm using with AI, from Cloud Code to Cursor to Perplexity. Starting to play with OpenClaw. I just want to have like a shared set of memories, shared set of skills, and also still be able to work within the different code bases and share information between them. So just to me, I find it like a really useful context layer in between. I moved the chat over to the upper right and made the chat so it's really easy to use, agentic chat. It knows what page you're on. You can ask it a question. You can pick from different models. You can add different model providers, different models um, within the settings. But yeah, again, this is just the chat that we've had before. I can ask anything of a specific project that I'm working on. If the Jeff will code bot, code base, anything I should know about it, and it will give me information, and it pulls from memories and other uh, code base information. But you know, as great as this is, it runs pretty fast now. I wanted to have more. I didn't want to develop my own chat interface, so I basically had the ability to do this full chat and integrated LibreChat. LibreChat is just an open source chat library. I think it's owned by ClickHouse now. So the nice thing about this, I have the same models that I had before. I can use those models. I have MCP servers now I can work with, and I can just ask questions. I also have the microphone capability, so I can ask a question like, how does Codepathfinder load and execute skills? And then go off and it'll run that for me. Just as it's doing that, you can same type of thing with you can see it's using the semantic code search and building that. It's nice because LibreChat also provides artifacts, and you'll see in the workflow. I'll come back to it as it's building. But I use Claude Desktop a lot, and you can think of this, you could do this with Claude Cowork or OpenClaw as well. I might want to have something like here's I want to add, I can use the skills then, and the skills don't work perfectly across different interfaces, but they're pretty close. So I have a skill for taking a feature request, and I want to add a skill. I want to be able to tag or add a tag in the CodePath API. Um, and I want to use the CodePathfinder feature request taking skill. I don't usually have to type that out, but I just want to make sure that this 100% uses that skill. So I'll call it out sometimes. But you have bug issue taker and onboarding coach and open telemetry, instrumentation. I think I've got like 30 some skills built into it that I'll use regularly as I'm building out kind of the codes and the different code bases and working across them. Um, so you know now as it's building this out, it sees that in CodePathfinder we have our GitHub repos and everything built in, so it really knows, like within the skill, I'm saying, add in acceptance criteria, add in context. I don't, a lot of times I have an idea, or I talk to a customer as an idea for a specific feature, and it's not like I can just give that one sentence feature to the engineer. I really want to have more context around it with, like, how do you, based on the code that we have and the code base that we have, what are the steps to actually be able to do this? And that's where CodePathfinder comes in great. I don't have to download the repo or anything. I can build this as a ticket and hand it off to an engineer that knows, and then actually have a good conversation. So I'm going to just open this link. It created a ticket for me, so it builds me, a user story summary just from that one sentence, that one line of what I wanted. I have the acceptance criteria, technical considerations, how to implement it. Potentially, I can go in here and I can edit this myself. I might want to change a couple of these acceptance criteria. An engineer might want to, make some changes to technical consideration. But now we can have conversation. I can even have like a point in AI, like in Claude code, to this ticket and start to have a conversation within like the development workflow. So you can kind of see how it integrates right in. If I go back to, I'm just going to step back to, here we have the summary flow diagram from my question earlier about how we load and execute skills. You can see all these artifacts and markdown and everything in here. It's really well presented. I really like how LibreChat does this. But one of the things I want to do from here is be able to save this as a note. I could. So let's see. I'll just add the Notion capability and say, can you add this to my Notion documents database? Um, I think that's all I really need to say. And it should go out and find my documents database and add the content of that. Um, so it's not just the having these questions with a single repo. I think some of the great things about this is also being able to search across repos. So, like for example, is there a utility somewhere that handles retries or job queuing? So I have 8 repos that I'm looking at here, including Claude Code, and I don't have those local to my system at all. It's just using the Elastic search indexes to search through, using the semantic code search and identify where um, maybe an example of what I'm looking for is. Let me just check with this is still building out my document. And come back here. So it's told me, yeah, there's 2 distinct utilities. All right, and the worker pool job queue. This is great. So I can actually copy this. I don't even know the code that well. I'm seeing, did it tell me exactly? Oh, actually, can you tell me which repo this project this came from? So, um, really useful to get examples and to search across. And again, it's not replacing your typical AI development tools. It's just kind of enhancing it, and especially as a product manager or somebody that's not in the developers, not in the IDE, being able to look through that code and be able to get ideas and share ideas. And I'm starting to do this more and more with the projects that I'm on. I'm creating tickets and having the AI take those tickets and run through them. And I hope to show demonstrations of how to do this in Coworker, OpenClaw, use it automatically, do it on a schedule, uh, and add, sync up your memories and your skills across all the different interfaces. So that's just a quick demo of where we're at today. Feel free to ask any questions.